That's entertainment. You know, when you're a great fighter, a great entertainer in general, you want the person to say, when do I see that person again? When's he gonna play again? When's he gonna fight again? You know, you gotta be able, if you can't put in seats, you're gonna get fired. You know.
Fight. And I have Crawford winning this fight. Crawford's gonna win this fight doing something that nobody's done to Canelo.
Okay.
That's all I'm gonna say. And it didn't take me going to camp to know this.
Okay.
So Israel Majamov says that if Terence Crawford bulks up, that's going to be the biggest mistake he can possibly make. And that's going to hinder him from being victorious against Saul Canelo Alvarez.
Mike Tyson recently shared his perspective after working with Terence Crawford, stressing the need for calmness before such a monumental showdown with Canelo Alvarez. Tyson explained that fighters always face crushing pressure on this kind of stage, but the true battle isn't just physical, it's psychological. He believes that if Crawford can control his emotions, shut out distractions, and avoid being consumed by the occasion, then his natural talent will shine. In Tyson's eyes, maintaining a clear mind will allow Crawford to perform at his highest level and make victory look far less complicated.
You know, fighters, pressure, right? Pressure's not being hit. You know, everybody think pressure's like getting on stage. No, pressure's the thought of being hit. And that's how they fall. The thought is go, I'm not hitting that hard, but they think I am.
Right. So
It's all psychological.
Are you, when you're walking to the ring, are you noticing anything, or are you so locked in?
I see everything moving. Every person, every girl.
Dude, your walk-ins would last longer than the fight sometimes.
Do anyone have a napkin on my towels? Because I'm sweating like a pit from one hole up here.
You sweat.
We will get you one.
You sweat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You sweating like Charles Barkley at a spelling bee.
Yeah, I'm gonna be sweating pretty hard there too.
Exactly. So Mike, we all know you hit hard. Who was the first person that when they hit you, you was like, oh, okay, this guy hits pretty hard?
Amir Khan, a veteran who once went toe-to-toe with Canelo Alvarez, recognizes the enormous magnitude of a potential clash between Canelo and Terence Crawford. Khan praises Canelo's greatness and unmatched experience, but he also highlights Crawford's dangerous punching power. With Crawford bulking up and learning the demands of the division, Khan feels he looks stronger than ever. He insists this won't be a one-sided affair, since both men carry unique strengths that could instantly change the fight. For Khan, this isn't just another matchup. It's the collision of two world-class fighters, where a single mistake could rewrite history. He respects Canelo's dominance at higher weights, but reminds fans that Crawford's adaptability and ability to rise to challenges make the outcome unpredictable.
He did that to Canelo after, so to your point, can Crawford do the same? Coming up from 54 and 47, can he, or will that, throw off the catch and shoot? I was gonna catch and shoot.
We're not catching the shoot.
Make me think.
We're not catching the shoot.
We're catching it, resetting, and getting out of this range for a minute or two.
My fight with Arrow, I came back to the corner. I had a look on my face, I guess. And my dad said, "What's wrong?" I said, "Nothing." Like, classic Sean, nothing. He said, "Sean, tell me what's wrong." I said, my legs are kind of tight. He said, "Your legs kind of tight." He looked back, looked behind him. He would always do this and look back at the other corner. I don't know why. He looked back at them.
There's a habit problem.
He said, "All right, we're not gonna use our legs so much this round." And I was thinking to myself, like, I need these legs.
I'm not trying to wear these shots.
Yeah. So to your point, when there's a feeling,
when the nervous system goes out,
where does that adjustment take place? Do you trust the adjustment? Do you implement it? So that next round I did settle down a little more. I was
lost the round.
Whatever. Hell up.
I know around here. Chill out.
Know around here. Pour this water on you. So we got some time until this fight. So we ain't gotta pour it all out at one time. We'll work our way up to this one.
Try to get on big guests to lead up to the fight.
Expect some more very, very big guests, and expect some very, very big things from the Puerto Rico podcast the week of Crawford versus Canelo versus Crawford takes place here. What is that? September 6th?
13th. I was just gonna say, you know, I've been critical of the fight because I felt like it serves as a foreground to the Ali Act stuff. And
Many analysts, however, are quick to raise questions about Crawford's age and limited experience at heavier divisions. By the time this fight happens, Crawford will be 38, an age where most boxers feel the natural decline of reflexes and stamina. Although he recently tested himself at 154 pounds against Israel Madrimov, critics aren't fully convinced that one bout is enough to prepare him for a seasoned veteran like Canelo. In boxing, age isn't just a number, it directly impacts speed, recovery, and sharpness, all vital against a relentless opponent. While experts agree Crawford's skill set is still elite, they warn that his body may not respond the same way it once did. For them, this isn't only his toughest fight technically, but also physically and mentally given the magnitude of the stage.
Being successful, September 13th, Las Vegas, Nevada, Allegiant Stadium, when he takes on another first ballot Hall of Famer, 4-division world champion, 2-time undisputed world champion, and reigning undisputed super middleweight world champion, Mexican superstar boxer Saul Canelo Alvarez, who is 63 wins, 2 losses, 2 draws, 39 wins by way of knockout. Terence Crawford had one fight at 154. That was against Israel Madrimov, the WBA junior middleweight world champion, right? And since then, Terence Crawford has moved up now to 168 to challenge Canelo Alvarez, okay? And so prior to that, he spent 5 years at what? Welterweight. So the concern that people have for Terence Crawford, rightfully so, is that Terence Crawford will be 38 years of age 2 weeks after the fight. So he's 37, okay? Terence Crawford has one fight at 154. Prior to that, Terence Crawford has been competing, okay, since 2018 for the last 7 years at 147. Since June of 2018, he's been fighting at 147. His only fight outside of that division in the last 5 to 6 years was his fight against Israel Madrimov at 154, which he won, unanimous decision. I thought he handily won, but people thought that he struggled. Israel Madrimov is now 10 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw, 7 wins by way of knockout because he lost his last fight to Mexican superstar, WBC junior middleweight interim champion, Virgil Ortiz Jr.
Crawford and his camp, on the other hand, emphasize the depth of their preparation. They've studied Canelo carefully and repeatedly pointed out that they won't repeat the mistakes made by Jermell Charlo, who lost decisively. Crawford insists he's not Charlo. His style, discipline, and ring IQ set him apart. Their game plan revolves around movement, precision, and patience rather than trading power shots. The goal is to frustrate Canelo with sharp defense and punish him with counters. Training has been grueling, with conditioning drills and sparring. Partners chosen specifically to replicate Canelo's pressure and strength, ensuring Crawford enters the ring ready for every scenario.
Team Crawford just revealed that they're currently working on making sure that the Omaha native doesn't end up like Jermell Charlo this coming September 13th when he faces Canelo Alvarez. Now this report comes from Boxing Scene, wherein it was just revealed by somebody from Crawford's camp that Terence Crawford is, quote, wary of repeating the mistake that former 154-pound champion Jermell Charlo made to a new weight limit without consideration of other factors. Boxing Scene further elaborated by saying that Crawford wants to retain his ability to fight with fluidity, maximizing the effectiveness of his power punches from both hands and ability to fight from a southpaw stance. With that said, Crawford's camp is now on full lockdown from the media or any sort of distraction up until fight week. Now, it's definitely worth considering that while it's technically...
At the same time, analysts are highlighting the risks that come with adding weight. Moving up divisions often means losing a fraction of speed and agility, traits that have always defined Crawford. Recently circulated photos show him looking bulkier, sparking debate about whether the extra muscle could slow him down. Some argue these images may exaggerate things due to lighting or camera angles, yet the concern remains valid. Muscle mass brings power, but it can also reduce endurance. balance and flexibility. At this stage in his career, the big question is whether Crawford can carry the added weight without sacrificing the explosiveness that made him so dangerous.
The man is simply human. I mean, the more you age and the more weight you gain, of course you're going to be slower. Now, that doesn't mean that he won't be an elite fighter anymore. No, of course not. When you talk about special fighters like Terence Crawford and Canelo Alvarez, they can handle themselves against anyone on any given night in the worst circumstances possible. That is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get back into the discussion when it comes to Terence Crawford carrying the 168 division, when it comes to the 168 pound weight. So if you actually think about it, Terence Crawford, how is the man looking right now? I know, yes, I know that we have seen the new pictures of Crawford with him looking absolutely massive, but I actually talked about this in one of my previous videos, ladies and gentlemen, which you can go back and check out. Terence Crawford, don't let these pictures fool you, ladies and gentlemen. Don't let these pictures fool you. Yes, of course Terence Crawford gained weight, but the pictures make it seem like Terence Crawford looks like a heavyweight. Let me tell you this, ladies and gentlemen, the lighting and the pump and the angle, everything plays a part in how you look in pictures. You know what I mean? Like, this is a fact, ladies and gentlemen. I can show you 2 pictures of me taken within 24 hours, and in one picture, my physique looks completely different than the other picture. One picture I can take after having a unbelievable workout, with a nice sweat on, with a nice pump, with some nice lighting, and a nice angle. I would look completely different than when I look right now or getting out of bed, which I just did.
Veteran trainer Abel Sanchez has outright dismissed the idea that Crawford can truly compete with Canelo. In his view, the fight looks more like a sparring session than an even contest. Sanchez argues that Crawford is simply too small and that Canelo's natural size, power, and years of experience at higher weights make the difference overwhelming. His take reflects a widely held opinion that no matter how skilled Crawford is, greatness cannot always overcome the physical advantages of a naturally bigger, stronger opponent. According to Sanchez, Canelo enters the ring with a built-in edge that Crawford cannot erase.
Crawford, quote, "It will be a sparring session for Saul Canelo Alvarez." Coach Abel Sanchez dismissed Crawford's chance against Canelo, and it's really because of the weight gain. Renowned Mexican trainer Abel Sanchez has reignited the hype surrounding Canelo Crawford, scheduled September 13th, Las Vegas. Speaking to the ring, Gennady Golovkin trainer says, quote, "Crawford is a great fighter, but that's why weight divisions exist. Canelo has proven that when he moves up, he faces and beats the best in each category. Neither Bivol could hurt him, nor could my fighter in 2 fights." And he's talking about Golovkin. And even though Canelo and Golovkin fought 3 times, Abel did not train him for the 3rd fight. It was Jonathan Banks. So that's why he said in the 2 fights that he's familiar with, he's saying that Golovkin never really hurt Canelo. The weight jump, the big disadvantage. Crawford, undefeated record. He's 41-0, 31 knockouts. Agreed to move up to 168, blah, blah, blah. And he says, quote, "If Crawford had taken 3 or 4 years to gain strength and mass properly, he would have a better chance. But doing it in just over a year is too risky. He'll be slower and Canelo will dictate the pace." Now, this is a recent picture of Crawford, who definitely looks in shape. And, you know, that's what we come to expect from a guy like Crawford.